This is the moment Luka Dončić broke the Western Conference. Game 2, Western Conference Semifinals. Luka switches onto Rudy Gobert, the Defensive Player of the Year. What happens next? Pure basketball poetry.
Doncic maneuvers for the lead. Got it! What a shot!
Shake and bake, step back, swish, game winner. But here's what's absolutely insane about Luka's 2024 season. That clutch masterpiece, it was just the beginning of the most dominant playoff run we've seen since LeBron in 2018. Because what Luka did next was drag a flawed Dallas roster through the Western Conference gauntlet, taking down super teams and championship contenders one by one, all while playing on one good leg. And somehow, everyone's already forgotten just how historically clutch Luka Dončić was in 2024. I'm about to take you through the most underrated playoff run in recent NBA history. 22 games of pure basketball wizardry, 7 triple-doubles, clutch shot after clutch shot, a one-man wrecking crew that dismantled the loaded Western Conference. 28.9 points, 9.5 rebounds, 8.1 assists per game in the playoffs. But those numbers don't tell the real story. The real story is how Luka turned impossible shots into routine buckets when everything was on the line. By the end of this video, you'll understand why Luka's 2024 playoff run wasn't just great, it was a masterclass in carrying a team that had no business being in the finals. So buckle up, because we're diving into the postseason that proved Luka Dončić is built different. Before we get to the playoff magic, let's set the stage with the regular season that made it all possible. 33.9 points, 9.8 assists, 9.2 rebounds per game, leading the league in scoring while being the primary playmaker. But the moment that defined everything happened on January 26th. 73 points against Atlanta. The most efficient 70-point game in NBA history. 91.2% true shooting percentage. Kobe, Wilt, everyone. Nobody had ever been this efficient while scoring this much. But here's what made this season special. Luka wasn't just putting up numbers. He was the Dallas Mavericks. With him on the court, 121.7 offensive rating. Without him, 113.3. That's the difference between championship offense and lottery team offense. By April, it was clear. This wasn't just an MVP season. This was a carry your team to places they don't belong season. And the playoffs? That's where legends are made. First up, the LA Clippers. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, a team built specifically to stop players like Luka. They had no idea what was coming. Game 1. Luka drops 33 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists. But it's how he did it that mattered. Every time the Clippers made a run, Luka had an answer. Fourth quarter. Game on the line. Luka backing down defenders, hitting step-back threes over elite defense, making passes that shouldn't exist. The Clippers had no answer. Series average: 29.2 points, 8.8 rebounds, 8.5 assists. But forget the averages. This was about moments. Game 4, down by 8 with 3 minutes left. What does Luka do? 3 straight threes. Just like that. Dallas takes the lead. The Clippers, a team that was supposed to be built for moments like this, crumbled under the pressure of one man's brilliance. Series over in 6 games. The Clippers' championship window slammed shut by a 25-year-old from Slovenia who made their elite defense look ordinary. Next up, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the #1 seed, the best record in the West. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the MVP runner-up. This was supposed to be where Dallas's run ended. OKC had everything: youth, depth, the best defense in the league, home court advantage. On paper, this wasn't even close. But Luka doesn't play on paper. Game 1 in Oklahoma City. Hostile crowd, playoff atmosphere, everything against Dallas. Luka's response? 19 points, but more importantly, he figured out their defense. By Game 2, Luka had cracked the code. 29 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. But it was the fourth quarter that showed his genius. Every possession, every decision, perfectly calculated. Game after game, Luka picked apart their defense. Step back threes over Dort, drives through traffic, passes that created easy buckets for teammates who had no business being in the second round. Series clincher. Game 6. Luka drops 29 points and 10 assists, but it's the way he controlled the game that was masterful. Every time OKC made a run, Luka had the perfect response. The Thunder, the team everyone picked to come out of the West, sent home by one man's refusal to lose. Western Conference Finals, Minnesota Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards, the rising star, Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, the Defensive Player of the Year. This was supposed to be Luka's toughest test yet. Game 1, Luka drops 33 points and 8 assists, but Minnesota steals home court. The narrative starts. Maybe this is where Luka's magic runs out. Game 2, must win for Dallas. Down the stretch, tied game, everything on the line. And then Luka calls for the switch. He wants Rudy Gobert, the Defensive Player of the Year. 7-1, elite rim protector, the anchor of Minnesota's defense. Shake and bake. One dribble, step back, the shot goes up. Swish, game winner. But it's not just that he made the shot, it's the psychopathic energy he showed after. The stare down, the confidence. This wasn't luck, this was inevitable. Game 5, series clincher. Luka comes out firing. 20 points in the first quarter on 8 of 11 shooting. He didn't just close out the series, he made a statement. Western Conference champions. But more than that, Luka had just taken down 3 of the West's best teams, often single-handedly, with clutch play after clutch play. NBA Finals, Boston Celtics, the best team in the league all season. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, the deepest roster in basketball. This was David versus Goliath on the biggest stage. Even in defeat, Luka's finals numbers were incredible, but it wasn't about the stats. It was about the moments, the shots that kept Dallas alive when they had no business being there. Game 4, facing elimination, Luka shoots 12 for 18 on 2-pointers, showing incredible efficiency when his team needed him most. Every possession mattered, and Luka delivered. But the media focused on the fouling out in Game 3, the defensive lapses, the struggles. They missed the bigger picture. This was a one-man army against a super team. Think about it. Luka dragged a Dallas team that had no business being in the finals through the loaded Western Conference. He outdueled MVP candidates, Defensive Players of the Year, and championship contenders. The series ended in disappointment, but what Luka accomplished just getting there was legendary. 7 triple-doubles in the playoffs, clutch shot after clutch shot, a masterclass in carrying a team. But just how legendary was Luka's 2024 run? Let's put it in perspective by comparing it to some of the greatest playoff performances in NBA history. Michael Jordan's 1991 finals run, the one that started the dynasty, 31.2 points, 6.6 rebounds, 11.4 assists per game. Incredible numbers, but that's just 5 games. Luka sustained elite production over 22 games. LeBron's legendary 2016 championship run, 29.7 points, 11.3 rebounds, 8.9 assists over 21 games. The closest comparison to Luka's all-around dominance, but LeBron had Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. Luka had, well, let's just say his supporting cast was different. Stephen Curry's 2015 title run, 28.3 points, 5.0 rebounds, 6.4 assists over 21 games with incredible efficiency. But Curry had the best team in the league around him. The Warriors won 67 games that season. Tim Duncan's legendary 2003 carry job, 24.7 points, 15.4 rebounds, 5.3 assists over 24 games, the gold standard for carrying a team. But even Duncan had Tony Parker stepping up in crucial moments. Here's what makes Luka's run special. He combined the scoring volume of Jordan, the all-around production of LeBron, and the carry job responsibility of Duncan, all while facing the kind of defensive attention that would make Curry struggle. 28.9 points, 9.5 rebounds, 8.1 assists over 22 games, 7 triple-doubles, leading the entire playoffs in total points, rebounds, and assists. That's not just rare, that's unprecedented. And he did it while battling injuries, facing constant double teams, and carrying the heaviest offensive load we've seen since LeBron's 2018 run. The difference? LeBron had home court advantage in the first round. Luka had to go through the buzzsaw that was the Western Conference. When you factor in the level of competition, the lack of help, and the sheer volume of clutch moments, Luka's 2024 playoff run belongs in the conversation with the greatest individual postseason performances ever, period. And then the unthinkable happened. February 2nd, 2025, the Dallas Mavericks traded Luka Dončić. The same player who had just carried them to the finals, the same player who hit game winners over Defensive Players of the Year, traded because of conditioning concerns. Luka's response? A complete physical transformation. The criticism became motivation. The doubt became fuel. Now he's in Los Angeles, leaner, stronger, hungrier than ever. And the scary part? He's just getting started. Luka Doncic's 2024 playoff run was one of the greatest individual postseason performances we've ever seen. Game winner over the Defensive Player of the Year, dismantling the #1 seed, carrying a flawed roster to the finals through pure will. The numbers put him alongside Jordan, LeBron, and Duncan. The moments put him in a class of his own, the level of difficulty unmatched. But somehow we've already forgotten. We've moved on to the next story, the next narrative. Don't let them erase what we witnessed. Because what Luka did in 2024 wasn't just special, it was legendary. And legends like that, they don't come around often. If this reminded you why Luka is special, smash that like button. What was your favorite clutch moment from his 2024 run? Drop it in the comments below. And if you want to see how this Lakers experiment plays out, check out this video where I break down why the Western Conference should be terrified of what's coming next.